Hi, I'm going to talk about an album that's just come out by a group called Chimpan. The album is called The Empathy Machine. It's their second album. The first came out way back in 2006. It was supposed to be, I believe, just a one-off project. That isn't the case, obviously, as this is now their second album. It's made up this time of just two people. It was three last time, but there's only two of them got together this time to make this album. One is Robert Reed, who, if you've come across him before, it would have been with the band Magenta. And the other person is, let's see, make sure I get his name right, is Steve Balsamo. And he was with a group called The Stories. No wonder this album is really good. It's been in the making for 14 years, so it should be something pretty neat, something pretty special. It has an interest in science fiction, and that is fairly obvious judging by the title, The Empathy Machine. The Empathy Machine, the idea of that is let me read this, it's a machine in the future that is able to record all your feelings. It's a form of virtual reality that can mess with your whole way of thinking and can bring up your deepest, darkest desires. And so that's the general gist of the album. They've come up with this title, they've come up with this idea, and the songs are written around this. Reed and Balsamo are joined on this album by vocalists Christine Booth, who again, if you know Magenta, you will have heard of her. She's the vocalist on Magenta. Kirsty Roberts and Rosalie Dayton. And also somebody worth actually looking up if you're into this style of music is a soprano, Sian Cothy, Welsh as well. That's where Robert Reed comes from. This is very leaning toward people helping from Wales. Tony Dallas does the spoken word on the album, and the cellist is Rachel Kimber, and the drummer of course is Steve Roberts. This music heads down the path of electronica progressive pop. You don't need long hair to listen to this one. There's a strength really in the softness of the sound. Chimpan offers a better description actually of their own music than most bands do. Most bands say you can't pigeonhole us, you can't say what ours sound like, we're unique. Well, what I like is Chimpan have actually described which pigeonhole you can put them in, and I love this. I think it's really funny. And they've written they're kind of like Pink Floyd's Peter Gabriel's loving brother, wearing Bjork's poppier swan dress while making Massive Attack a cup of tea. And I love that as a description, and I think that is really quite entertaining and good actually. The album is a hidden gem. It's very colourful, it has an awful lot of energy, and is wrapped in a real lot of beauty. And as the album progresses, so I fall deeper in love with it. And I've listened to it now probably 10 times only. The first time I listened to it, I thought, yeah, I quite like that. Second time, thinking, actually, I really do like this. This has got something. And now I've fallen in love with it. I think the more you listen to it, the more you will really love it. As I said earlier, The Empathy Machine is the album, that is often about science fiction. And Steve Balsamo writes about something he is fascinated about. I believe he does the lyrics. The idea, the lyrics, is the theory of Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom that we could already be living in a Matrix-style simulation. And this is where the lyrics come from. These ideas are written down in Steve's lyric book. He then takes them off to Wales with Robert Reed, where they put a bit of music together. They sort of join bits up, and then off flies Steve and leaves them with Robert Reed. He comes back later, and there you have the songs. You can listen to this album on Spotify and YouTube, and if you like it enough, buy the download from Bandcamp or the CD with a disc as well. But you do, when you look it up on Bandcamp, you need to look up Robert Reed's name rather than the band's name. You'll find it under his personal name. This was released back in March 19 in 2020. So while I'm making this recording, it hasn't been out long, but it's worth a listen. Thanks.
The time